say welcome to Good Vibes Only. We've got a special guest here today, Paul Zellman. Met him down at Westwave a few years ago, where we worked together. But yeah, Good Vibes Only. Our vision is to normalize speaking up, reaching out, and asking for help. And we've got our values there: authenticity, compassion, and connectedness. So yeah, we're just going to have a kōrero with Paul today. Hopefully dive deep into some of the awesome experiences he has.
Yeah,
Paul. And yeah, welcome, Paul.
Thank you for having me on. Lovely to see you guys, especially in lockdown. Nice to see some friendly faces.
Yeah, so
Thank you for having me on.
I feel blessed to be in your presence, bro.
Yes, baby.
Blessed.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, why don't we start with just a little intro to Paul. Tell us who you are, where you come from.
All right, bro. So, yeah, I'm a Westie, born and bred. I grew up in Swanson. Obviously met you boys at Westwave back in the day. You know, that's how we got our natural immunity to COVID, bro. Just kidding. But yeah, so I used to be a lifeguard there. Used to manage a team of lifeguards there, and then for work, I then moved into property management, and now I'm a business development manager, whatever that means, for
nice, man.
For a rental company, basically Ray White, All-Star Property Services. So yeah, that's what I do, bro. My goal is to grow the best property management business in West Auckland, which I'm currently diving deep into, bro. And then personally, I'm a bogan, so I'm big into four drives, always have been. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'd like to think I'm highly motivated, and like to think that I also try to take as good a care of myself and the people around me as I can. But, you know, it's a learning process. So yeah, I think I'm pretty dedicated to the process. But yeah, that's pretty much about me. I'm sure the rest will probably come through as we go on.
Yowza. Well, thanks, bro. I think one thing that we've always kind of spoken on every time we chat with someone that we actually know, we're like, how buzzy is it that we literally have interactions with these people so often, and we just don't really know their childhood stories, or like, you know, the real deep stuff about them. And I know your mum's a principal, bro. So what was that like growing up? Like, was there higher expectation? Like, I don't know. What did it come with a different set of rules, I guess, or like what was that?
Yeah,
like?
So I mean, even to be honest, bro, everyone I meet in some walk of life knows my mum somehow. You know, I've had people who were her students, people who taught with her over the years. So she's been a teacher in West Auckland and South Auckland actually for like 30 something years. She's a pretty hard lady. You know, she's softened up now that I live out of home and I'm an adult, but she definitely was a bit of a savage back in the day, bro. You know, she would, iconic memory, you know, Eric, he always brings this up, bro. I'll never forget you playing water polo and your mum screaming, if you don't score a goal, you're not getting dinner, you know, so.
Damn.
It was savage as well.
Savage.
Everyone to this day believes like she was being serious. And like, I'm like, nah, she was kidding, but I don't know if she was really. So yeah, I think my mum was always very competitive. So was I. And so I think that was really positive in some ways in terms of creating drive for me. But then I've realized now, probably through dating my partner, who's very well taught me that you need to chill sometimes. So I think it created a drive, but that drive normally didn't know where to stop for me. And you know me, bro, when I used to work at Westwave, I'd have like 3-4 cars, bro. I'd be working on them at like 9 at night on a Sunday, and I went out 2 nights that week as well because, you know, I love to party as well. So yeah, I think it created a great drive, but that great drive needed to learn to chill a little bit, which I'm honestly, I'm 23 turning 24. I probably only learned that in the last year. So, you know.
Yeah, that's thanks to your missus? Is she quite a chill person? Like,
yeah, bro. I think,
time?
Yeah, definitely. She's lovely. Shout out to her.
Shout outs.
Yeah, she just taught me that it's okay just to be still. You know, it's okay to just take some time to rest. You don't need to always go. You know, this world is to be enjoyed, which I've always tried to enjoy it, but I think the difference was, bro, internally I was always kind of stressed without knowing it. I wasn't even aware of the stress I was putting myself under, because I was just driven to always be hustling, bro, always be doing something, bro. Hustling for passions though, mostly, you know, cars, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think I've learned the balance a little bit.
What was it like? Her ears burning. No.
What was it like, bro, with you know, being so motivated and driven and that like kind of high paced lifestyle, and then meeting someone who's a bit more slow paced or like takes a relaxed approach or enjoy life a bit more? Because they're kind of a bit different, eh? Oh,
we're I would say, like, personality wise, we're very like outgoing and everything, but in terms of like, general like lifestyle, we're very different. So I think it's taken a lot of adjusting, a lot of respect, a lot of empathy and understanding that, hey, look, you're different to me. And I still battle with it, you know, day to day, especially in this lockdown, because go away, La. You know, she is spending a lot of time. She can't work at all, so that's really hard with her. So I think she's teaching me how to chill, because I'm crazy busy, and I'm kind of trying to motivate her to get some stuff going to take care of her. Because I think I'm all go of taking care of myself to the point where it's too much, and then she's on the other scale. So I think it's really it's a good balance, bro. But I think you gotta act from love, and you know, kind of appreciate that person's got something different. But it's not easy, bro, especially because my whole family grew up. It was always go, go, go. Very goal driven. But I think it's a great lesson, bro. But it's not easily won. I think that's what I've learned. The greatest lessons are often forged in tears and fire.
100%. No, it's always good to have a bit of balance in life, eh?
Yes. Yeah.
You mentioned like you're good. You do good like taking care of yourself. What are some things that you do to take care of yourself?
Oh, bro. So probably 2.5 years ago, when I knew Christian very well, we were around each other a lot. I was going through a really tough time. So I took up a meditation course through a lady in Auckland here. Quite well known, quite expensive. You know, at the time, I think it was $450, bro. And you know, I was on that council pay back in the day, son. So that but I did that, bro. And then ever since then, I've just evolved. You know, that's one thing I do every day. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 20. During lockdown, I had all the time in the world. I did an hour guided one off Spotify. So that's one side of it, the meditation. Then, I mean, I do a lot, to be honest. I'm doing 75 hard, but I'm not doing twice a day at the moment. I'm only doing one workout a day. My flatmate's doing 2. So that's basically like chapter of a book a day. So I do that in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Chapter of a book a day, meditate, and then an hour of exercise, 45 to an hour of exercise. So I think that's really good for me. And then I've also got these little things I do, bro, like I suppose you call them journal exercises, that I've refined over the days. If anyone is out there, just look up Charlie on Instagram. Crazy inspirational dude. He his whole thing is a winning streak. So you wake up in the morning. It's kind of like a gratitude exercise, but I feel like it hypes me up a bit, you know. You write down, you say I'm on a winning streak, and you write down everything that you're winning for today. You know, like it might even just be like, yo, I didn't have odd socks this morning, or like, you know, I had a good 8-hour sleep, or I don't know, anything, bro, anything whatsoever. And you just write down as many as you can. And then I go through a few other things. So there's that exercise that I do. Won't go into it too much because it's pretty long, you know, a lot of points, but pretty quick now, 5-10 minutes maybe. And then, I mean, I've got a few other things I do as well. Like there's a lady I go and speak to every now and then when I'm going through a bit of a tough time, and she's more on the spiritual side, I would say. I don't know too much about what she is. Probably Christian's long lost stepmom or something. But yeah, so I go to her for more what I would call the things that you can't you feel like you can't let go of, you know. So she's my magic voodoo lady, and she sorts me out with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to take time for my full driving. That's really important to me as well. Going out there, going to the beach, walks in nature. I'm very fortunate. I got a bushwalk literally 20 meters from my house. So
Nice.
yeah, I do a lot to take care of myself, sometimes too much, but yeah. And every week this is a really good one, actually. I sit down every Sunday night and I do a Sunday sink-in. So I evaluate the week. I write down if there's anything I feel like I can't, you know, is holding me back, how I can release it, or what I can replace it with, and just kind of clean the slate and get it going.
Awesome, man. Those are some really cool techniques. And just for those who are watching, like, what is too much taking care of yourself or too much self-care?
Oh, bro. Too much self-care would probably be, I think, honestly, it comes down to this, right? If I wasn't doing all these things to take care of myself, I would be stressed and like anxious, or I use these marks because it's not anxiety in the traditional sense, but just kind of like tense, I would say. That's when it's not serving you well. You know, when you've got a really busy day at work and you're like, oh, but I need to get my, 5 minutes of meditation in at lunch for the third time.
Got you.
So I think I would say just realizing what's going to work for the day that you've got, or the lifestyle that you've got. And just kind of accepting, hey, look, this is a good amount for me. Like my meditation teacher used to say, you've got to do 20 minutes. So if I had 15 and I was doing a meditation, I'd be sitting there like, shit, I don't have enough time. Like I'd be freaking out, and it wasn't serving a purpose. So I think, be where your feet are, I used to say. So if you're not where your feet are to do something good for yourself, you're not doing something good for yourself. So yeah. And you'll know like if you're doing a workout and you're just thinking like, oh, I need to send that to this person or do that. So yeah, staying grounded.
Yeah, but I really like that you brought up the meditation thing. I was watching a TED talk like just before we jumped into this. It's about this guy Albert Hoban or some shit from Sweden. And he was talking about how he's a monk for like 18 years, bro.
Ooh.
And the best thing that he took from that was that through meditation, like he learned not to listen to his thoughts anymore. And he kind of learned that he could redesign or reimagine his whole life, like just by reframing his thoughts.
Bro, like I've been meditating for 2.5 years, probably maybe longer. I've only in lockdown realized this because I had the space to do that meditation, like realizing that you aren't your thoughts, you aren't your feelings, you're actually the awareness or the consciousness that is observing those. When you truly understand that, like you are so powerful, when you can just disconnect. And I think meditation can disassociate you from the present moment. And I think that can make your life a lot less painful, bro. And I think if I look back on moments where I thought life was the end of the world, and there was no going back from the pain of that moment, really what was wrong, a few major things that I needed to sort out and I needed to actually disconnect from and just say, hey, look, in a year's time, this will be a story. I can think of last year, I blew up a car 3 weeks before going on a trip. I spent $7,000 fixing it. I took it halfway down the country. So a lot of money, halfway down the country to Wellington, and the cam snapped again. So the engine basically just shit itself again, right? I was on the side of the road in Wellington. I thought that was the end of the world, That's the end of. But I think for me, it was like, hey, look, that was only because I was expecting all these things. But expectations, bro, they'll kill you. And I think for someone who, is driven and motivated, I've realized that that's probably the number one cause of pain, I think, is expecting something to happen and it doesn't happen. So I think accepting life has been a big focus for the last month. In my morning routine, I say that I will accept everything as it is. Wow. Especially in lockdown, I will accept everything as it is. and I will not judge anyone or anything. I try to remind myself of that. That's been really good, because I've seen my family, I'm going on a bit here, bro. I've seen my family, everyone's seen their family argue about COVID, and their friends argue about COVID. And we all go through it. Christian last night. We all go through it, but I think, you go through this process, and then you get to a point where you've got to accept where you are. And I think, yeah, that's been a really good lesson for me. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty powerful statement, that you will accept anything of that day or anything that comes to you. And you're right, like it's just with the COVID situation, especially, there's a lot of division at the moment. And yeah, it's all about spreading kindness and just accepting people's thoughts and their own opinions.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I mean, I met, there's an arborist, bro, doing some work around here. And he was, anti-vaccine, anti-everything, but just having a conversation with him while I was, hauling the, chopped up trees around, I've got to respect his opinion at the end of the day. He's a human being. Like, and, I've toed and froed with both sides of the argument. We're not going to go into it, but, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, look, you've made some points, and I can see how you would get there, and if I don't feel that love and human connection, I'm getting pretty hateful. You say the word division, but I think division is the beginnings of hate, and I think we're starting to see there's a lot of hate around, and I don't like to see it. So I think the more we can be like that, the better. Good vibes only, baby.
Good vibes only. That's the one.
One thing that I always vibe with is a quote, bro, that it's be the example of change that you want to see in the world. And that's by Gandhi, bro. Represent my homie. No.
You got to in the garden, bro, somewhere,
but I think that's so powerful, and especially what we're going through at the moment. It's like we need to be the examples, bro. We need to be like, fuck, lead with compassion, lead with kindness, try and be connected to people, no matter what their, I don't know, thought processes or where they want to think about shit, like
priorities and what they focus on.
100%.
And I think you just raised a really good point. I think for me, like, I've always believed that, that whole, what's that phrase? Like, I don't even know what the quote is. Someone will know, right? You can't help anyone if you're not good yourself. That's what I basically call it.
So true.
I would say that's my life philosophy, bro. If I'm not good, I'm good to no one. And I think for me, like, I'm fine tuning always what that is. But if I do my things in the morning, bro, I can be a great partner. I can be a great family member. I can even cook dinner. I can be a great worker.
Oosh.
Cook dinner?
Very well. But yeah, I think my advice to anyone would always be, if you can take some time to start the day for yourself, like, that's the best way to start your day, so that you can then be of service afterwards.
You win the morning, you win the day.
Win the morning, win the day. Definitely.
Shall we get a little bit deep on it though? Should we
go deep, bro?
Ask you some the real questions, Paul?
Yeah.
I guess one thing we always ask people is, like, I guess thinking back over like where you are today, what would you say is kind of the hardest or the biggest struggle that you've been through throughout your life?
Bro, that's a big one. Honestly, I think it always kind of refreshes a little bit for me, but I would say the first heartbreak, bro, is probably the roughest. I think, especially, I'm a pretty emotional man. Like, as much as I'm motivated, like, I'm very emotional. I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's for sure. So I think if I look back on that time, bro, that was hands down the hardest time in my life so far. Lockdown is a very close second. And I would say that for me, that thing's worth more, but I would say to every single person around me that lockdown is probably number one. The amount of phone calls I've had with friends that at the moment are going through the hardest times in their life is just crazy. Your closest friends being in their darkest hour is heavy. But I think for me, back then, the reason it was the hardest was I didn't have the close friends that I had now, which I'm very happy to have. I didn't have a partner, obviously. And I was a young boy who thought it was the end of the world, you know what I mean? And then I jumped and quit my job. I'm sure you remember, Christian. And I just jumped off the deep end. I quit my job. Didn't really have another job. I was doing another part-time job, which is how I got into what I'm doing now. But that was the hardest time in my life, for sure. The one thing I did is I just channeled the pain to, oh God, what's the CrossFit at Westwave called?
612.
612, bro. So, you know, I just got into that, bro. And most of the time I couldn't eat at the time. I'd lost like so much weight. I probably lost like 10 kilos, bro. And then I just went there on an empty stomach and just win the morning, win the day, bro. Just, you know, battled my demons and put on another 6-7 kilos within a few months. And that was pretty much all I did, bro. I just battled my demons in the morning, got through the day, talked a lot to a lot of people, my family, my friends. But I look back at it now, and I'm only realizing this talking to you, to be honest, is that I didn't accept where I was, you know, for a long time. And I think that's what created such a heavy burden on me. I couldn't eat, you know, or anything like that. And I think there was a lot of stuff to go through, but ultimately I just had to accept that I was where I was. And I think, yeah, that would be my darkest hour, because I was very alone in my own head, I think, although I was talking to everyone, you know. I think from there I also learned that although this, not discrediting any of this, right, talking is amazing whatsoever, but I'm a big believer that the only person who can ultimately like help yourself comes down to you and yourself. You know, you can throw someone all the help in the world, but if they don't pick up at least something, you know, even just move a little bit, you don't get anywhere. And I think lockdowns taught me that sometimes you just got to move a little bit and just move a little bit more. So that's the hardest time of my life, for sure.
It's like that saying, the way like you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, right?
Oh, absolutely. And trust me, you know, I've tried to do that in my life with friends and things, and you don't get anywhere, bro. You don't get anywhere. But I think one thing I've learned probably through my partner as well is that if you lead a horse to water and you back off a few meters, you'd be surprised that that horse is going to like eventually drink something, you know. But if you're standing there next to that horse going,
drink,
yo, are you ready? Yeah. So I've learned that in the last year, I would say. That's a good little lesson.
Nice, man.
Bro, on the breakup thing though, don't you think it's crazy that we can legit, I feel like you took a breath in because you're like, you're bringing it back up. Shut up.
I didn't see the connection, bro. Nah.
Don't you think that it's crazy that we we go through these moments in life, and like at that time it is the biggest thing that has ever like happened to us, bro. It's just and then you look back and you're like, it's not actually like, it's bad. Like, don't discredit it, but it's like not that bad, you know?
Yeah, 100%, bro. And like, you know, if I take it back to now, when I go through a really tough time, like anything during lockdown, even I spoke to you yesterday, bro, and I was having a terrible day. Terrible day. We'll go into that in a sec, but where were we? What were we talking about? I fully forgot, bro. What did you say?
The breakup, and that at that point in time was the biggest thing that had ever happened to you.
And like you said, 100%, you can't discredit it, because at the time that was the biggest, worst thing in the world to ever happen to me, you know. But when you go through something like that, you realize like, shit, I can get through that.
Build
so I can
resilience.
get through something else. And now when I go through a bad time, I just write. It's beautiful, bro, because I've done that winning streak for probably a year and a half. I can be having a terrible morning, and then I'll like, I don't know, lace up my shoes and I'll like nail it first time, and my subconscious will say I'm on a winning streak.
Yo,
because
positive psychology.
Oh, bro, but I tell you what, it takes a lot of time and a lot of consistency to get there. But it's cool though. Sometimes I'm so mad or sad that I don't want it to get going. I'm like, yeah, shut up.
Winning streak, shut up. No.
But it shows like a bit of growth as well, that you've grown from that experience. Like you've built a lot more resilience, and you've learned from that experience as well. So I don't know, personally, when I look back at like hard times, I can see that like I've grown as a person. So it doesn't affect me as much, like especially in present day.
100%, bro. And I think that's a really good point because, you know, sometimes people, like I've heard from people, I work in real estate, so there's a lot of motivational stuff going around. But I remember my boss said to me, probably maybe a year ago now, I was going through, you know, a bit of a bad patch, let's call it. And he said, like, you get through this, you know, you're going to grow 10 times over. This is, you know, the soil for your next leap. At the time, I looked at him and I wanted to say something, which you shouldn't say to your boss, you know. But he was right. I think every time I look at the hardest time, whether it be with my partner, my family, you always come through. And if you can come through with understanding, you know, you're bulletproof after that to that same thing, or you've got the armor, I should say. So I definitely look at every tough time and then look back and think, if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't have this.
Yeah. You equip yourself with the ammunition, bro.
Absolutely. But again, that's
Ammunition and
down to, writing down those lessons, bro. That's one thing I try to write down a lot, is the lessons from a bad time, you know, on my Sunday or whatever it is.
I think we should probably give background on that as well. I was just thinking everyone listening won't understand. Like for you, that was like what, a 4 or 5 year relationship?
Oh yeah, 4 years from 17 till 20. Oh yeah, 17 till 21. So you know, my whole adult life. Yeah, so obviously, you know, not just like 2 months or something like that, bro. You know, their family was my family. Yeah, so it was pretty much a whole life split. Plus, pretty codependent because it's your first relationship, bro. So there's that as well.
Bro, it was all I remembered you as well. It was like just the two of you kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, bro. Like you've got to keep hold of yourself, you know. That's a really good point you just said there, you know. I've got to be myself and be in a relationship, you know. I've got to be you know, myself and my job. I've got to be myself and, you know, full driver or whatever it is. Like you always need to keep yourself in check, keep connected to yourself, I think, because, you know, as much as we love women in this world, they can consume ourselves as men. And that's no disrespect, you know. It's because we're so loving and so great in so many ways. Like, no, we're all crazy in our own way, bro. But I think, you know, with all due respect, like love is a drug at the end of the day. So don't get into it. Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely. Yeah. So, and that was part of the healing. I had to become myself and just, I think ultimately I had to decide, you know, this is not who I am. This is who I am. This is what I want from life. And you got to go deep, bro, for sure.
Do you just want to talk about that shift as well? Because like I remember you mentioned earlier about like back then you didn't actually accept yourself or accept what happened, but like just talk about the shift till now when you're actually accepting the day and accepting anything that happens. Like, when did you kind of decide that?
Oh, bro, I think you just get to a point where you're sick of living the way you're living, you know? And I think the first shift was 612 because I was like, yo, I've just got all this internal, I like to call it my emotional body, right? Your emotions are in your body as far as I'm concerned. And for me, the first shift was probably 6 weeks after getting into 612 and just doing that as much as I could. And then the second shift was probably acceptance, you know, once I just channeled that, I would say. But I think it takes time, you know, and healing isn't linear whatsoever, you know. You think you're all good and then you get triggered one day and you're crying again, bro, you know, literally what it would be like for me. Or you have that feeling again. And I'm very much like that. You know, I'll think I'm all good and then something will trigger and I'll just get all the emotion back in me. So
Do you think that's part of the because you were saying before you like to keep busy, you like to always be doing a lot of things. Do you think that's part of what it is, that you almost keep yourself distracted and then you're like, oh shit?
Oh yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely, especially back then because I didn't have the, the grounding of my routine to always be checking in. But I can even do it now. I've done it during lockdown, bro. When times are tough at home, I just go all in on work, and I'm fooling myself for a few days, bro. But I'm not really fooling myself. My body feels like shit. So yeah, definitely. You don't get away with anything in life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that day that you posted up and you were like, I really couldn't be fucked today?
Oh, bro. One of probably 6 in the last like 4 weeks or so, definitely. But I think I've just learned now that if I can just do one thing, just get out there and do, I don't know, two pull-ups and then two more and two more. It gets easier eventually.
One small thing that I've just started, I've got like 3 days left, trying to do the 100 press-ups, 100 sit-ups for 21 days. Just to like, how 21's apparently that number.
Break out.
When it starts to become a routine, eh?
Yeah. So yeah, just trying to slip that back in, bro, because start of lockdown, I was like, yo, back on the gym grind, like going to the track, going for runs, keeping busy. And then I just started being like level 3 hit, bro. And you know how you can get fast food now, so it's like, yo, on. And I just that happened, bro. And then I'm like, you know what? Start small. What's something I can do?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I decided to do. It's been real good, bro.
Bro, I think that's a golden nugget right there, eh? Start small, I don't think anyone should go out and try, wake up, read a chapter of a book, meditate, journal, exercise for an hour, and then I'm trying to learn Dutch at the moment as well. I'll do that. Yeah, so that's cool. Trying to get bilingual because my partner can speak, and my heritage is part of it's Dutch, so that'll be cool. But you can't do everything at once. It's probably. I look at it now. I was thinking about it before I came on here. It's taken me 2.5 years to build, 6-7 things into my life. So I think just start with one thing. Yeah. And you only need to do 1% of it, and then just 1% again, and 1% more.
What was your one thing that you started with? Was it the meditation?
Oh, hands down. Yeah. I would say, because I was like you, bro. I went 612. I went hard, and then I was all good, and now I'm back in myself and going out partying, and 612 fell off. It's pretty hard to go to the gym at 5 a.m. on a Monday when you're dusty from going out on the weekend.
Straight up.
Or you've got on the rack on a Wednesday night with your mates because you're like, oh, I'm back again, and then like Thursday that alarm goes off, you just slap snooze, bro. So I think meditation would be the first true sort of ingrained thing. That's where it started, and probably fitness has only come around in the last 2 months, bro. It was lockdown, really, because I live with someone who's absolutely jacked and shredded. So, it's an environment thing as well. I've got a friend who loves fitness, and so I try to send him a snap every day of like what I've done, or what I've gone for a walk at least, or a swim, or this is my session done for the day. So I've found that really good. I've done that for the last few weeks, and he's cool, and we keep each other in check. So
yeah.
Holding each other accountable, eh?
Accountability partner for sure, bro. And I'm trying to get that for work as well at the moment. I got a guy I sort of work with and compete with out in South Auckland, for new business. So yeah, I use him as well for work. So you've got to have people to keep you going, because you're not going to be motivated every day, bro. No way you're going to be motivated every day.
Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up, is just like surrounding yourself with like-minded people, or those who are on the same journey as yourself, or the same vision, whatever it is that motivates you, so you can kind of pick each other up.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And like, this whole thing we're doing right now is testimony to that, because you two are those people for each other, so I think you've got to find those people, and it takes time, it takes time. But when you're not I think you just got to let life bring them to you and just kind of welcome everyone, and then those people will pop up for sure.
Yeah. It's one of those 12 rules. Those Jordan Peterson, his 12 rules to
Yes.
life, or for life. One of them is surround yourself with people who want the best for you. And because it's designed to be not easy for you, bro. Like, wanting the best for you means they're going to push you. They're not going to
100%.
accept when you're like, oh, no, I'm just going to sleep in tomorrow. Like, yeah, like all those kind of things. Holding you accountable. I think that's key as well.
100%.
And my partner's an honest savage, bro. And I'll be honest, you know, I think a lot of Kiwis aren't very honest. And maybe that's why we struggle to talk about, you know, our mental health and things as well, because we sugarcoat everything. And I'm trying to learn to be more blunt as well. But I think you've got to be very honest with your friends if you really value their friendship, you know. And I think I'm still working on that massively. But, you know, be careful with it, because you can ruin some friendships too.
Yeah.
I think sometimes maybe losing a friend's not the worst thing in the world, you know. If they're not the right person.
No.
Christian, you can't, bro. No, but I think, you know, just kind of let the people who want to be there, you know, and be there for the people who you really want to be there for.
Hard.
Yeah.
Have you lost a friend, Paul, like from being brutally honest, or
in terms of being a savage?
Yeah, just like not connecting with them, or
Oh, bro, I can think of I probably lost 2 friends during this lockdown just because I didn't really see the value anymore for me. And that's not, you know, I'm not thinking time is money or anything like that. I was just sort of thinking I don't really feel truly myself around them anymore. And it wasn't the type of friendship that I really appreciated. So I don't know. I probably should have done that a year ago, bro. But yeah, I let go of those friends and they kind of just fell away. I'm not mad about it. I mean, I'd still give them love, you know, if I saw them. But in terms of investing my time every day and, you know, checking in and all that sort of stuff, they just weren't the right people for me. I wish them well, obviously, you know. They're not blocked on Instagram and Facebook or anything. Which I think some people do that, and I just think it's not the way to go about it. You know, it's like
real passive aggressive, eh?
Oh, bro,
yeah, very passive aggressive.
More fuel to the fire, bro. You know, it's the whole point of it is it's meant to bring you more peace and more space for happiness. You know, I think it has served me well, but yeah, I've lost other friends obviously through other things, but yeah.
Is that part of what you were talking about before, your hardest parts in lockdown have been? Is that part of it, or is that just
Nah, definitely not, bro. Definitely not. I would say the hardest part of lockdown is just that, for me, it's that feeling of a few things. Not having something to look forward to was a really big thing.
Tell me about it, man.
Oh, bro, like, and I didn't realize it until I sort of broke down one day. And then I was just like, you know, fuck, I've got nothing to look forward to. You know, I don't know when I can do anything.
I feel that.
Yeah, so that was the biggest thing for me. I try tell myself what I've got to look forward to in the week or the day, but that was probably the hardest thing. And then just being cooped up all the time in the same spot, you know, around my lovely partner. But you know, you can drive anyone crazy after 2.5 months.
Lovely. No.
Yeah, no.
Haven't even met her yet. No.
But yeah, so I think just that, bro, and I think it'll test the best of anyone, especially, bro. I mean, what are we at, like 11 weeks? That's just crazy.
That's so long, bro.
I mean, my parents have been married like 35 years, bro, and they've never spent this much time like around each other.
That's interesting.
You know, so I think when you put it in context like that, like,
it's a good point, actually, though.
Yeah, most people don't spend this much time around anyone ever in their life solidly. So I think that's probably the hardest thing. And then, yeah, I feel like having something to look forward to and feeling like you're going somewhere, because, you know, that I obviously like to feel going somewhere. And I think it's a bit difficult when the world just makes you fearful and boxed in, you know. The media at the moment is crazy for just pummeling people with that information. So yeah, I try not to look at it as much as possible.
Yeah, fair enough. One of my colleagues who's based in Northland was telling us that she went for a massage, and I was like, oh, what is that like? What's it like going to a mall? You know, that's how long it's been, bro. Far out.
But I tell you what, the funny thing, right? I was like, oh, what's it like seeing people, or what's going to happen, or, you know, what's it like when I can go to work and do this? And I did some viewings, bro, and I'm not gonna lie, the first time you do something after this long, it's stressful, bro. Your body is not used to it.
You get real tired, eh?
Oh, bro. Literally driving some errands, bro, after 4 or 5 weeks of not leaving the house except the groceries, right? And going to work and picking some keys up for someone or something, you know, little bits and bobs. I got home, bro. It was like an hour-and-a-half job, and I was like, "Oh my god, it was like an 8-hour day. I need to go to bed." Like, yeah, you're not used to it. You get so yeah, that's difficult, bro. I think you get so tired from anything. And I was freaking out filming a video at work the other week, like literally about to be like, "Shit, I can't do this," which is not normal for me. You know, I'm normally like pretty confident. I have a little bit of fear beforehand. You know, just was like about it. But yeah, I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to leave, bro. Like, that's just lockdown, and that's coming from someone who I would like to think I'm very confident in those situations, you know. And I'm still got little things of that which I'm still working through. You know, if I see someone in person, sometimes I feel like I can't speak like the way I used to be able to flow. You know.
That's real interesting to me, bro. Because yeah, like you're saying, you're a real extrovert and stuff like that. And I consider myself an extrovert, but I don't know, like, it's hard. And an extrovert with introverted tendencies, you know, like, and I think this lockdown, I've gotten more extroverted, bro. Like, anytime I see anyone, I'm like, yo, sup, man? Like, you know, like, just so excited that there's another.
Oh, I had that, bro. Yeah. I had that definitely for those first sort of few interactions. Then when it became like, I'd have a couple of people rock up to a viewing at the same time and they weren't meant to. I'd be like, oh, the pressure's on. Oh, sorry, you've got to go over there. Or like, because obviously part of my job, right, is I've got to push for business. So if you're not on point, bro, and you're not flowing, you're not, you know, you're basically selling a service, right? If you stutter over the phone and you have no way to gauge that the person's totally fine, bro, you start freaking out because you got no body language going on. It's even worse, you know, and you're trying to do something that requires, you know, input, you know. Imagine if I was just sitting here the whole time just talking.
I'd love that. You're so annoying.
Paul, are you okay, mate?
But that's what it feels like on the phone. And yeah, I've found that, you know, I've just got to push through that and kind of, you know, just go through the crunches a bit.
Yeah. So is that I'm not, if that sounded like, is that it? No. No, like, is that the kind of crux of what's been really hard during this lockdown, or?
Oh, no, the hardest thing is being cooped up, for sure. Being cooped up, feeling like you're in your past, bro. When you don't have something to look forward to, your emotions creep into your past, you know. Yesterday was the anniversary of a good friend who passed away 2 years ago. And I'd honestly say yesterday hit me harder than the day that it happened, you know. And I think that's because of lockdown and just having the space to just be with every feeling that you have, you know. And that crippled me, bro. And I think, yeah, having the time is not the greatest thing in the world because you just get stuck. You know? If you don't have somewhere to go, you're just stuck where you are. And that's not good for your mind and your feelings. So I think that's probably the hardest thing. And then, yeah, just dealing with that. And then obviously having your partner feeling like that and you both feel like that. It's a tough process for sure.
Do you want to dive a bit deeper into the anniversary thing that was for Josh, right?
Yeah. So that was for my friend Josh Vicky. So, yeah, I mean, so he sadly took his life. just over 2 years ago. And yesterday was the anniversary, and I pretty much cried the whole day anytime I could. Managed to do the work that needed to be done, got nothing more done. Was pretty much inconsolable, just like in bed with my girlfriend for 2 hours before I had to go before work, just crying. And you know, it's that feeling, right? It's just that feeling of grieving. You just don't know what to do, you know? Just pain, sadness, that feeling also of being alone, because if it wasn't for lockdown, I'd probably be somewhere where I could feel connected. But I think what got me through it was, obviously my partner's amazing, so that's great. But then it was also talking to people who could relate and celebrate rather than grief life. And I tell you what, bro, I went through I had a viewing yesterday for work, and a man walked through who looked like he could be Josh's brother. And, you know, something like that for me was just like a beautiful omen. It made me so sad. But I like to think anyway, that was like him saying hello. So I think with things like that, I was able to kind of get through that feeling. So again, looking for that, you know, that little vibe check from the big man up top, or whatever it, you know, whoever you believe in or whatever it is. Just, yeah, I think I've gone through some gnarly experiences as well. And yeah, you got to look for those little moments, because the world isn't black and white. Yeah.
On that note though, do you think that you allowed yourself to feel after that? Because I remember, bro, like when we went to the funeral and stuff, like you were the strength of the group, bro. You were just like, you know, holding it together, but like not
totally.
yeah. Like you could tell you were hurt. But did you allow yourself to feel that back then, or is that something more coming through now?
I would say probably now I realize not really, you know. At the time, I'll be honest, at the time, my opinion was he was a closer friend to other people, you know, which is true. But I suppose it was an excuse not to feel totally how I was feeling. And to be honest, my lifestyle at the time wasn't really, you know, meditating and feeling and stuff. I was only just getting into my meditation, and my level of self-awareness was very low compared to now. So I think, yeah, I didn't really grieve properly, and I suppose yesterday was a good time to do that. So yeah, you know, I put on some music from which represented the last night we ever spent together, and I just came home and blasted a whole album and just sat in the car crying pretty much, bro. But yeah, I suppose that was my way to remember and celebrate and just process. But I think when I do let myself feel it, it all floods out for sure. And I think I'm a big believer in, like, men do cry. I cry a lot, bro.
You're definitely a crier.
I cry more than my girlfriend. Yeah, you've seen me cry.
I've held you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've got to lean down for that to happen.
That's the weirdest thing.
But you know, there was a guy we used to work with, Alex, and one time when I was back in that day, I was crying at work, and he came over to me and he looked so freaked out, bro. He goes, "I didn't think you cried, bro." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You're so confident. I didn't think you cried, you know." And I was like, "Bro, you couldn't be further from the truth, you know." I think just hearing that allowed him to, you know, feel his emotions, which at a later time, you know, he opened up to me about some other stuff, and he was crying. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. We're not made to be walls of steel. And I think that actually makes us weaker in a lot of ways, you know. I think that leads to a lot of, you know, whether it be violence or anger and everything like that. I think if you don't process sadness, it turns into something else like that. Yeah, for sure.
You're breaking down those walls, eh? And it sounds like, you know, with you being vulnerable and crying, that you're able to get Alex to be a bit more comfortable with you and break down those like typical barriers of men don't cry.
100%.
Yeah, that like whole staunchness, but now he felt comfortable enough to let out his emotions for him to cry as well.
100%.
That's cool to hear.
100%. And I think don't bullshit yourself. Like, I am a confident person, I will say that, but I have rough times like anybody else does. And people say that, but I mean, if you actually just allow yourself to be like that, like I did in that moment, it really shows people truly, gives them the signal that, hey, look, this guy's going through this sort of stuff too. And I think more people, I'm working on this at the moment, it's just not talking so much, and just trying to listen and allow people the space to do that more, which is not my forte, because patience is not my family's forte. It's go, do it now, hurry up, it was meant to be before, so we're all imperfect, and we just got to kind of navigate as good as we can and keep trying.
Well, the other thing I heard as well you say is like with your grieving, it's a process, like it takes a long time, especially when you lose someone close to you. I mean, you mentioned that it took, like, it's been 2 years, and then yesterday in particular was probably the hardest since, which is understandable because of just everything that's happening, especially with lockdown and not being able to actually go anywhere or actually do anything or look forward to. But because you were self-aware enough to know that if that wasn't like you weren't cooped up, that it would still be difficult, but not as difficult.
Yeah.
Because you've got something to do and something to take your mind off things, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. But even saying that, bro, I mean, I had a full days of work. I didn't do a full day of work. So I think, yeah, definitely. I think at the moment, I actually said this today just in the kitchen, these times are crazy emotional. Everyone's a lot more emotional than they need to be. Not that they need to be, sorry, than they would normally be. Whether it be division, fear, hate, sadness, anger, I think everyone is just short fused with their emotion, and it's heightened, because humans aren't meant to be cooped up with themselves.
No.
We filter I've realized in lockdown, we filter so much emotion just by interacting with people and, going playing basketball, and you see someone, you forget about the argument you had earlier a little bit, or something like that.
It's so
Remember
true.
the basketball when I broke my ankle?
Oh my god!
It just popped straight into my mind.
Yeah,
that was so bad. Sorry, back to
yeah, that was pretty funny actually. Yeah, I can't play basketball to save my life, bro.
But it was so much fun. I remember being like so excited. We were like, yo, I'm gonna do this every week now, like all that kind of stuff. And then snap. And it wasn't even like me jumping or anything. It was me cheering that I got a shot in.
Yeah.
I did it to myself.
Can I go toilet real quick?
Yeah. I'm just gonna ask Christian a question.
Go for gold, bro.
Didn't you roll your ankle in the Philippines?
Nah, bro. I
Or
don't
your
even know how
knee?
that happened. Nah, that was
Something-
my ankle as well. But yeah, I don't know how that happened. It just swelled up. Like, I don't know. It just got fat, bro. I think it was the flying, because we were flying. Flying a bit, and then maybe like altitude to nothing.
Oh, okay.
Heaps, and then I don't know. And it wasn't broken. It was just fat. It was real fat, and I had to.
It was sore though, like you couldn't run or anything.
Oh, I couldn't walk on it. It was like
Yeah,
gout,
that's
bro. It might have been gout. It might have been
because you had crutches, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Because like it just slowly got worse and worse. Like it kept on getting fatter and fatter until I could just walk.
Oh, that's crack up.
My ankles are bad though.
And your knees, eh?
Yeah, just my legs, bro. Should I just chop them off? No,
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, bro. Just get some new legs.
Yeah, hard.
What's up, G?
Oh, she's back.
It's my boy Harry.
Hey,
Harry.
Harry.
Hey, Harry.
And a
Hey,
bit
Heather.
down, boy.
That's a cute cat.
Cute cat. That's one thing everyone needs, bro, is a pet in their life.
Oh,
Lockdown.
Bro,
tell me about it.
growing up, I was never allowed a pet. I was always so jealous of other people, bro.
Yeah.
I'm still not allowed a pet because I'm back home.
Do your parents not like pets?
I think because we had a pet when we were like before I was born, but it got hit by a car and it died. And so,
Okay, that escalated.
so it wasn't just that it got hit by a car, but like Dad he thinks like if I bought a pet, he'd have to look after it all day while I'm at work and stuff.
Yeah.
Because he works from home, so
Very typical sort of parent thing. But then he'd get it and be like, "Oh, I love the cat." Like,
exactly.
Mm.
He hates cats though. My dad's like so blunt, bro. It's real buzzy.
What about dogs? Does he like dogs?
Not really, eh? I mean, my dad's really interesting though. I think because he's lost a lot of things in his life, he like pretends that he doesn't care when he really does. You know?
I got you.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't want to lose another pet.
Yeah, he's like secretly really like he's got a lot of feelings, but it's like he doesn't like to let it out.
Yeah,
Bro, you have to cry in front of him.
exactly, bro.
No, he just he gets real awkward. It's like that Alex thing, bro. He's like, the fuck.
Yeah, I've had friends say to me like, "Oh, it was around that time as well." One of them was just like, "Bro, I just didn't know what to do like with you." I was like, "Bro, I'm not a mental patient. Like, just give me a cuddle, bro."
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. When I hugged you, bro, I was like, well, what do I do? I just like
Yeah, just do what feels natural. I think you know.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like, how would you kind of comfort someone who is crying, like that you may know that doesn't usually cry, and then next minute just starts bawling their eyes out?
Bro, I think you've got to. Oh, that's a tricky question because I know some people when they cry they don't want to be touched at all.
Yeah, so do I.
Offish. So I think you just got to maybe like get a little bit of contact on a shoulder or something. Speaking literally about my flatmate yesterday in the car when he pulled up and I was crying in the car. A little bit of contact and then just go from there. Like if it seems like the body language is right, go for a little hug if you can. You can even do the full awkward bloke, like tap on the shoulder, bro. You're all good, mate. You're all good, bro. Nah, but probably not that one because you're just going to shut down the conversation. But are you all good? Like, and then just go in for a hug if you think it'll be the right vibe. Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, just be close. I think even a hand on the knee, not in a weird way, or like a hand on the cup or something. It's a very comforting sort of human feeling. I think
human touch.
Yeah, but if they obviously like put up the book of shut up and back off.
Bro, one thing, this is just me, it might not be everyone, but one thing I hate like with a passion is when you're crying and someone like does the taps.
Oh yeah.
Really? You don't like it?
I hate it, bro. I don't know.
Interesting. What about the rub?
The
Do you
rub,
like
I don't know. I'm weird with like touch, bro. It's odd. But
yeah, maybe though, like if I was the person seeing you cry, maybe I just need to like, if you got a bit weird, I just need to back off.
Yeah, hard. I think that's key though. Like, and Emma said it last week when we were doing the podcast, or whenever it was. She said, because she's got anxiety, bro, and she's like, just be present. So like, and when you're present, you notice things like that, You're not just like, oh, I'm going to commit to a hug. I don't care what they like say about it. You're like, okay, read the body language. Oh, they're stepping back. All right, I'll stop now,
Bro, but I think, if you don't know someone too well, just stand relatively close and, within a meter or two, I would say, and just be there and just look like you give a shit. Just focus, don't be on your phone or anything like that. Just be there. And then you can take 10 seconds and just evaluate as well.
Hard.
Hold on, can I just film you real quick?
We're just going to post this up on TikTok.
Yeah, exactly. My flatmate's a pussy. No. Nah, obviously not. But, just gauge it and then go from there.
Mm.
As long as you have the right intention, we're obviously talking about people in this context. If I,
Yeah, definitely.
if I saw, I've been out in town before, I've seen like a girl crying on the side of the road. I'm not going to go over and try to hug that girl,
Yeah.
I'm going to send a girl mate over or something like that. So just read the room, think about, if that was you, how would you want to be approached? And then just use that and go from there, I think.
For sure.
But if you make a mistake, just back off and just say, hey, sorry, I just want to comfort you.
Hard. And at the end of the day, everybody makes mistakes. Okay.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Or just go, bro, what do I do?
Yeah. Ask the question. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Is it all
Straight
good?
up.
Do you want a hug?
Yeah.
Well,
that's even better, probably, to be honest. Yeah. I would say maybe what I said would be better for someone that you have, at least hugged before, or like had some contact with before. And then, if you've never had any physical interaction with someone, just ask.
Yeah. Because some people don't like hugs.
Oh, some people
So,
hate
show.
Like my mum, she absolutely hates hugs.
Yeah.
I hug her
I still
all the
give it
time.
to her though. I know she hates it though.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get deep again, because I love getting deep with you, Paul. I feel like you have words of wisdom that you need to share with the world.
100%.
He's like, don't build me up, bro. No. But no, we were talking, I think it was yesterday or this morning, about me and Ethan, about the male suicide rates and how obviously in New Zealand especially, like, they're way higher in men. But I guess from your point of view, what do you reckon is the main contributor there around that?
It's a big, big, big question, eh? I think it's a question that everyone wants an answer to. But what's the biggest contributor? I'm gonna give you a vague answer because I want to cop out. I would say culture, brushing it off, being chill, being easygoing. I think that overlooks a lot of the flags. And I think, everyone will say the toughen up culture is the worst thing in the world, but, that's kind of afterwards, that comes after hearing something and then saying something else. So I think in between there's a little space where you've got to really be aware of what's going on and just actually ask the question and clarify. It's a really hard question though, because there's a million factors, I think that's a part of it, but I've answered this before and I would actually say it's awareness, not having the awareness and realizing that there is red flags when there is red flags. And that takes a lot of refining and stuff, but the classic Christian, like, hey bro, how you going? Yeah, good. How are you? Yeah, no worries. Bro, that is a meaningless conversation, all right?
Oh, 100%.
That means...
I hate that.
So do I.
That means...
I'm not going to lie.
It's just a nicety. It's a formality that you do with people. How are you really going gets into it somewhat. But if you're in front of other people, bro, you don't really get an answer. You know what I mean? Unless that person's super open. So I would say checking in and having one-on-one conversations. Because that's the environment where someone can really be open with you. Again, and being vulnerable yourself and open as well. There's a million things there, but I think if you start with yourself and getting yourself better and training, awareness and taking better care of yourself. I mean, every time I've gone through a hard time, 3 weeks later, I'm giving advice to a friend about how I went through that hard time and what I did to help myself, or who helped me through that hard time. I've referred like 5-6 people to my voodoo lady, I like to call it. That's not her name, but or her title, but it's important that you just learn and link through and check in with those people.
For
I mean,
sure.
it's a hard question to answer, but I think you guys are starting somewhere really important, you know? I think if someone listened to this and found 2 seconds of a golden nugget, then that's all that it needs to happen. So I think the more conversations, the better.
And that's what it's all about, is for people to kind of find those golden nuggets. But on an off topic, I'm just going to take it on an off topic real quick. Christian and I were talking about this probably maybe a year or 2 ago, just about if you're, you know, someone asks you how you are, like people say, oh, you're good, bro, how are you, type of thing. And it's like that meaningless kind of conversation. And so we had a chat and we're like, you know, what would actually happen if you said not good? Like, I'm actually not like doing well today. And I tried it out, bro. I went to my workplace. This is what my previous workplace, won't name who I spoke to, but I was like, they're like, oh, Ethan, how are you? And I was like, actually, I'm not doing good today. And they're like, oh. Honestly, people just don't know how to react because they're expecting, oh, good, like, how are you?
They've already expected the answer and listened to it in your head.
Expectations. Nah.
It is though, because people are expecting you to say good, how are you? And the moment you say, actually, bro, I'm not doing too good, they're like, oh, what the heck? How do I respond to this? Like,
but I think it's you know, it's about, you've got to be close enough with people to expect something from people, you know?
Yeah.
Like my boss, who I've met once, to just be like, okay, Paul, let's sit down and talk it through, like, you know what I mean? They probably wouldn't feel comfortable. So I think you've got to forge a few relationships in your life that you can go to for certain things, you know? But yeah, honestly, sometimes though it takes breaking down in front of a random person, and if that's where it starts, that's where it starts, bro. But yeah, that's so funny.
On those conversations though, because like you said, I thought it was Paul that I had that conversation with, but no, it was you.
I think it might have been I think you told me about it, bro. I remember.
Yeah, maybe.
It might have been a basketball chat, bro.
But on that note, there's this chick from work. She was like always the bubbliest person when I'd come in the office in the morning. New work, so don't be thinking of people. And yeah, she would just be the bubbliest person, and she'd always be like, hey, how are you? And then one day I just turned to her and I was like, I hate it when people say that. Like, obviously I was having a bad day or something. I was like, can we like
I don't know exactly you would have been in, bro.
Yeah. And I was like, can we try like a challenge? And it was pretty much every time we see each other, try a different conversation starter that isn't, hi, how are you today?
Yeah.
And then we just did it, and it was fucking hard, bro, but it was real cool to get those like different conversations flowing that you wouldn't usually get, because that's such a stupid, pointless, it's like an acknowledgement, it's nice, but be real.
It's just like validating your presence as a being, you know, like, how are you? Good, yes, sweet, cheers. Right.
Turn away, walk away. Nah. But anyway.
Bringing back to the deep conversation. I guess what are your thoughts on like suicide, Paul, in general?
I mean, I'd love for it not to be a thing, obviously, but I think it goes back to what we talked about before. You know, that is a very real feeling, and you can't dispute that. I mean, to be honest, I'm very grateful. I don't think I've ever truly been there like myself. So I can't speak from a position of, I don't know, stupid. But I think in general, like, if you know someone's going through that hard time, you can't just have one conversation. I honestly, this is a bit of a weird spin on it. I look at it like how I look at my work to do with, you know, rentals and real estate. If you want to get, this is obviously using, you know, something in my mind to apply to a situation to get
something that you know.
Something that I know, right? So one thing I know is that if someone's going to rent a house in 3 months, right? If you just call them once and then you don't do anything for 3 months, you know, you're not going to have a relationship with that person. Now, if someone who's an acquaintance you've met like once or twice, right? And they go, oh, I'm having a really hard time, bro. and you go, oh, that sucks, bro. And then you see them 3 months later when you'd normally see them, and you go, oh, how are you? You know, you're not going to get anywhere. They might still be in the same place, but you're not going to know anything. So I think when you get triggered by something, in my head, you know, that initial conversation, all right, I've got to follow up tomorrow or in 2 days. I've got to follow up in a week. And then, you know, maybe in a few weeks, I've got to go, and, you know, in 2 days, have an hour phone call with them. And then in a week, I've got to do this. And then in 2 weeks, I've got to go see them. I think that's what it really takes, because it's that whole having something to look forward to. You know, hey, bro, let's go have dinner on Thursday night or whatever. And we can do that now. You know, you can go out, get dinner and sit in the park or whatever it is. So we have the ability to do all that sort of stuff. So I think that's what it takes. It takes planning, bro. It takes scheduling, right? You got to lock stuff in. I love using the phrase like lock it in. I said that to you with this podcast, you know.
Yeah.
8:30 Wednesday, lock it in. I couldn't do it last week because I was crazy busy, right? And I think you've got to lock in that stuff for each other and, you know, commit.
Hard. I love that, bro. And I guess for me, I've never really, because that is quite a structured, I guess, business way to look at your personal life, bro. And I've never really done that. And it is so valuable, bro. Like when someone, you reach out to them, or you let shit out, bro.
Yeah.
And you tell them how you're feeling and you're real with them. And then they follow up. You're like, oh shit, I was heard. I was listened to.
Exactly.
I feel appreciated.
I tell you what, I've done that with a few people who I didn't know well at all. You know, one friend I can think of, we used to party together. Basically, that was it, right? And now I'd call them a really good friend, because when we had a few conversations and they said something, I hit them up the next day. I tried to hang out with them that Friday. We ended up getting a beer together with some other friends. We weren't talking about, you know, me and you, what's going on. And then, you know, it was a follow-up, you know, the next week. And that pretty much has set up a friendship for the last year. And I just know, like, he feels comfortable with me. I feel comfortable with him. I've probably only hung out with that guy 3 times sober, maybe, you know, maybe 10, 15 times like drunk. But because those 2 or 3 times sober were when it mattered, and like, you know, I recognized he needed a friend or whatever it is. He thought it was absolute gold. And during lockdown, we've called every one of our little business promo here, bruh. We've called every landlord and tenant to see how they're going. So when I did that, I then turned around and said, shit, I got to do this for my friends, bro. If I'm doing this for work, I do this for my friends. So then I scheduled it and calls to my friends and just said, like, hey, how are you going? Yeah.
My mind is getting blown. Ethan did that as well, but I'm just like,
oh, cool. Yeah, I think you said something to me about that, actually, I think.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, sorry, like transitioning that shit, the extra effort you put into your work life. Because I'm so lazy in my personal life. Like, I always forget to reply. You guys both probably know this. Like, and
I was like, where's the link for this, bro, tonight? It's like 3 minutes. I don't even know how to get into it.
Sorry, bro.
You're all good.
No, I really like that, Paul, though. Like, you're right in saying that it's like a relationship, but it's all about building relationships, and you're not necessarily going to go like straight into the deep end straight away, but it takes time.
But that's the thing, is you're scheduling different levels of interaction. You know, you're making the space for it, because even during lockdown, right, we got all the time in the world, but like you said, Christian, you know, the days roll by, bro, and you forget. So if you don't schedule it in, I'll literally put it on like my notes on my phone or on my work phone as a task for the day. Now that's pretty, you know, boring in some people's eyes, but I think it's great because then I actually do it. You know?
It's the only way you do things, eh? When I discovered reminders on my phone, bro, my efficiency went from
mind
blowing. But straight up, and it's things that are so simple, bro, and you can like literally. People love like journaling or you know, reminders on your phone, or just, and I think for me, bro, that writing shit down, I don't know what it is, bro, but it's just something so pure, and just like writing it down and not using your fucking phone, because
it's soothing, eh?
And
well, they say this is interesting actually. I was watching something on this. There's an interview of some sort of doctor the other week, and so I went through a really traumatic experience just under a year ago, right? First time I've ever gotten like PTSD from something, right? I won't go into that because that's not like a personal matter I really share. But anyway, part of the healing process was this thing called havening, right? And it's basically a healing process you go through, and you flicker through your eyes left to right. Now, I thought it was voodoo, spiritual magic, whatever you want to call it. But there's actual science behind your subconscious flickering left to right, okay? And that's actually healing. So, and the studies show that that creates healing and basically triggers your amygdala, I think, don't quote me, right? And it soothes over memories. She's saying I'm wrong, but anyway, something in the brain, bro. And what that does is it basically makes memories feel less painful. So when you go for a walk through nature, your brain is scanning left to right, left to right, left to right. And that's actually healing, essentially, memories and things. So that's why when you go for a walk through nature, the study shows that basically you're healing because your brain is cleansing the path in your neurons. Yeah.
That's epic, bro.
It's crazy. Interesting. And I think there's similar stuff about journaling, the physical motion releases. So there's all sorts of crazy stuff like that. The old phrase, go for a walk, my mum used to say. That was her spiritual wisdom. Go for a walk.
Yeah.
You feel better.
My parents too.
I used to just think it was exercise, but maybe there's more elements to that, I think.
Oh, and there's so many layers to exercise. Like, hey, like, I don't know. There's so many. It's you can like, I don't know. You can just do some sit-ups, like 3 sit-ups, and it makes you feel so much better. You have that like release. You can go for a walk, like simple little things. And it's not even that strenuous, but it is so good for your mental health. Like,
I think we're also, your brother, who like I met once and we vibed with really big.
Oh, I just knew you would, bro.
Yeah, bro, that was crazy. That was also not a good night mentally, but that was the highlight, right? And breathing, Wim Hof breathing, you can literally not even move, bro, and just flood your body with endorphins and do all sorts of things. You can bliss out, bro. It's like you're high, and all you've done is change your breathing pattern,
I used to do it while driving, bro. And
it's so sketchy, dude.
Not recommended. But it feels amazing.
Yeah.
Getting high on your own supply, that's what they say, yeah.
Yeah.
It comes down to presence, right? Like if you're just going for a walk because you're told to go for a walk, it's going to be a lot different than if you're like choosing to go for a walk and actually taking notice of nature as well. Like, like literally stop and smell the roses.
Yeah.
And just being present in those moments, I think are really important.
I think the thing for me, Ethan, right, is I'll be honest, bro, I'll go in on that a little bit because it used to really piss me off, It's like that how are you thing. Just be present, bro. Just be present, And I used to think like, bro, I'm always trying to do stuff. What do you mean be present? Like, so for me, it started with writing those winning streaks, and a lot of people do this thing with gratefulness, right? I'll write I can hear the birds or the water or the trees or something like that. And when you're actually signaling that stuff to yourself, I think it creates presence. Be grateful for, this is the ultimate one, right? You can write down eyes to see, ears to hear, lungs to breathe, mouth to speak, legs to walk. If you write that sort of stuff down, bro, you're going to create so much presence. You're going to bring yourself down. With breathing as well. You can bring yourself down to earth because stress takes you away, I think. Bro, you can download apps these days for anything,
Oh, hard.
Apps for days.
Headspace and all that sort of stuff. Don't download too many. You spoke before about what's doing stuff, too much stuff for yourself. Having 12 apps for meditation before you go to bed or something. It's probably not the right idea, You're listening to whale songs for 8 hours while you sleep at like, I don't know. But, so I think, play around with it and pick one.
Yeah, you got to do what works for you, eh? Like.
Oh, bro. Yeah. My my partner, what she likes to do is totally different what I like to do, to feel good. And I think that's one thing when you're helping friends is I used to be so bad at this, bro. I was the worst. Yo, I feel really good when I go for a walk. You need to go for a walk. You need to go for a walk, you know, because it's your golden thing. And sometimes that person needs to go for a swim, or they need to talk to a friend. And that goes back to ask the question, like, what makes you feel better? You know? But some people might not know, so you need to give them something. You know? Oh, try this, bro, or should we do this?
Some ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had a main question in my head, and then it just like disappeared. I'm not being present. Sorry, guys.
Sits there. Right?
Yeah, I'm back. Oh shit. This is really awkward. It's really annoying me as well.
Ethan, save him, bro. Save him.
Yeah, save me.
What are some values that you kind of live by every day?
Ooh, that's I've gone into beliefs lately. Yeah, so I go with beliefs. Great partner, great family member, great friend, great stranger.
Oh, great stranger. I like that one.
So that's what I'm doing at the moment in the morning. That's what I'm writing down. I am a, you know, and then go through them. I am a
sexy motherfucker.
Yeah, you know, you gotta feel yourself sometimes. But yeah, bro, I think values. I suppose I'm valuing, you know, the ones close to me, myself, and then it also I write down I want to be the best BDM in West Auckland, and then it's turned into New Zealand, you know. So
nice.
For me, that's, you know, I've got some work goals and stuff there, but I think ultimately one thing I do as well before that, the greatest values for me is loved and safe, present, joyful. And I do a little ritual, if you will, to ingrain that into my mind. And I repeat that to myself. And I think out of everything I do, bro, if anyone just wanted to do one thing, that would be great. Look up tapping. And you basically just say those words as you tap through your body. Sequence. Loved and safe, present, joyful. And I tell you what, that provides me, I don't know what it is, bro. Honestly, I don't really understand the stuff that much. I'm trying to learn. I'm going to get the book on it. So I'm still definitely an amateur, but just telling myself like I'm going to be loved and safe, present, joyful today, it's really powerful. So present and joyful. Life is, I'm very motivated, but life would be whack if you didn't enjoy it. So
hard out. Be present, bro, you know.
Present, dude, but have no emotion. Be exactly where you are, unaffected.
Nothing can get you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I remembered my question.
Yes.
Hit us.
No, so I suppose throughout this whole thing, you've kind of linked back to, you know, you always are a strong believer in helping yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But has there ever been a moment where you've been quite, I don't know, you couldn't rely on yourself and you had to reach out? Like, how did that go down, kind of thing?
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. 100,000%, right? My belief is based on that because it empowers me. But I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for, you know, good family, good friends around, you know? I think, because sometimes that comes off as like, you know, you're just out there to sort yourself out, not help anyone, right? It's more so like, I've got to get that little bit of space or push, and then I can help myself and go for it. My cat's like right by the screen now. I think times where I've had to yesterday, absolutely just feeling like shit, super sad. My reach out was just crying in bed and saying like, I feel like shit. I feel terrible. I don't know why. I'm so sad. And that reach out was just, hey, look, this is how I'm feeling. And it was accepted with basically, that's okay. You know, you can feel like crap for a day, for a few days, for a week, for a month, whatever it is. And I think that's a beautiful level of acceptance that I've gotten from my partner. So props to her. But I think other times in my life where I've needed to reach out, I've just done it, bro. I've sent a message. I've then been like a teenage girl being like, oh, what are they going to reply? Da, da, da. And I've probably pussyfooted it a little bit, you know? And I've realized that sometimes you just got to be really direct, bro. And I think that's the thing that I've learned from now. I used to kind of be like an awkward girl, like, you know, kind of like flirting or something. You're like, oh yeah, bro, I'm not really doing too good or something, you know. Like, you'd be like, come on, ask if I'm okay. Like, but I think you, yeah, come on. And I think you've really just got to be direct, you know. At the end of the day, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, suck up your kahunas and just, hey, bro, I'm not doing good. I'd really like to talk to you or something, and just. The more you can initiate, the more powerful it's going to be. I'd really like someone to talk to, or can you give me a call? I'm not doing well. It doesn't take much more than that, you know. And if the person says, hey, no, bro, sorry, I'm so busy, blah, 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 you know.
No.
Bye.
Yeah. But who knows, bro? They could be in their own fields or something like that. But, yeah, just give it a go, bro. I think humans, as much as there's a lot of division going around at the moment, and a lot of fear and things like that, humans are inherently good, especially if you bring the right energy, which is, you know, not being angry at them because of something. You're actually asking for help, or just, you don't even need to ask, bro. Hey, look, I'm not doing okay at the moment. And then just let the conversation go. Don't put any expectations or pressure on yourself or the other person, because one thing I realized growing up in my family is that I kind of expected everyone to respond like they were my family and they knew the mental health experience that my family's got, because they do have a lot in their own respect, right? And I had expectations, they've got to respond like that, or they're not good enough, but sometimes just let people be there. I think you guys talked about being present before and how to engage in that way. That doesn't even need to be spoken words sometimes, you know. It can be, hey, look, are you okay if I just sit here with you? Yeah, no worries. You don't need to unravel their problems with you, you know. You just need to make sure that you're there for them and they feel like you're there for them, and then check in, you know.
100%.
Definitely. So have you ever, like when you have reached out to people, has anyone actually said to you, oh, I'm too busy, or like I can't right now?
Ooh. I've had friends, look me dead in the face and be like, bro, I just don't even know what to do, you know? And then you're both just left there like, okay. Yeah. So yeah, definitely. I've had friends who they can't help me, but I think it is a matter of they just don't know how, you know. I think this is years ago, bro. I'm probably thinking about a specific memory right now. That same friend though, probably, a few weeks later, just turned up at my house, bro. Shout out to this man. He actually sold us some pillows, bro. He's a salesman. He's crack up. And he is a friend who I've checked in on during this lockdown, because I know he's gone through a breakup and things like that. And I just randomly, again, because of work, I was like, hey, bro, how you going? Like, I tried to call you, but, you know, da, da, da. And he said, hey, look, I'm really busy. What did you want, sort of thing? Oh, just check in with how you're going. I can imagine it's tough. Da, da, da. He was blown away. Hey, bro, like, thanks so much for checking in. Not many people do these days. I'm actually doing like pretty all good, but I'd love to catch up with you, you know, when we can, whatever that means at the moment. But so I think just, he was definitely there for me in a hard time. And I don't need to talk to that guy all the time, but I know like if I needed him, I can just ring him, you know? But is he the best person to go through everything? not really, because at first he didn't know what to do, bro, but he could have done. I
Mm.
think he actually taught me this, like, and this is 100% on him, that sometimes you just got to turn up for people, bro. If you know it's bad, like, you know, like
Thanks.
when somebody passes away or whatever, you know, there's 100 messages, but how many people just turn up and
Yeah.
there? So
Yeah.
if you really care, someone's close to you, grab your kahunas and you know, just turn up there.
Hard.
No, I
I
totally
love
agree.
that, bro. Yeah.
Because that's what Livy did for you, Christian? She just turned
Yeah,
up.
bro. Yeah. Way to get deep.
Well, let's talk
I
about
like
that.
it.
Oh no, so
If you want to.
in our first video, I kind of gave a little bit of background to it.
Yeah.
But so I won't repeat it too much. But basically, yeah, when I was working at Westway, was going through a real hard time. Felt lost, felt alone, felt like I had no drive anymore. I was just like, why the fuck am I here? Like, I'm done. Like, this is it. And we were just chatting one night, and then she just messaged into work, called in sick, and just showed up at my house at like 1:30 in the morning. And she was meant to have work at 4:30, so she was already staying up real late to like
Talk to you.
me through it. Yeah. And then she just showed up at my house, and I was just like, literally, if that had gone any other way, I don't know whether I'd be here. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of feeling that it had behind it. Like, it was so powerful for me, you know?
And that's a fucking beautiful thing, bro. Like, as much as I love my work and I love to be busy with it, try remind your friends that you'll do that for them, I think, as well, you know, like, because all my friends know I'm pretty busy, pretty spastic, pretty ADHD with a lot of stuff that I do, right? You know, you get a crazy Snapchat and then you won't hear from me for the rest of the day, and then I'll send one at 9:30 at night or something. Just remind your friends that, you know, no matter what's going on, I've even done this with my partner, you know, because obviously I work in an industry where it is very goal driven, and, you know, real estate is about, you know, quite a lot about money in terms of the way a lot of people perceive things and goals. And that's another conversation, right? But, you know, you need to tell people that are close to you, hey, look, if it's a matter of me getting a bonus or you needing me for a dinner or a conversation, like, that's going to win every day of the week. I think you've got to remind people around you that that's what matters, you know. And for another one of my friends, it might be like, hey bro, you know, if it's getting a really good workout in on my usual Thursday, or it's checking in on you and having a phone call for 30 minutes, I'm choosing that one every day of the week. So I think, yeah, try to remind your friends of that as much as you can. And I mean, after this, to be honest, I need to ring a friend tomorrow as well, which I got reminded about. So yeah.
I'm mindful of time, just
Yeah.
because I think this is the longest podcast we've done.
Oh my God.
I am loving it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And or am I just because I'm shit with numbers and time?
No, I'm pretty sure we're probably sitting at around hour 30.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
I think our longest is about hour 40.
Oh yeah. But do you have a final question that you want to ask, Ethan?
Oh no, I was just kind of going to reiterate the importance of like reaching out and trying to find that specific person, because I think people reach out and might have a situation similar to Paul's, just around like, because people don't generally know how to react if you aren't doing too well, because it's just not the normal in society. And just finding a person who is that support person for you, and just to keep trying, because there will be someone there for you. No doubt. And like, I mean, Christian and I are here, and I'm sure Paul, you're not going to turn anyone away being a good stranger, or a great stranger. So, you know, if you've literally got no one, we are here also. Well, all of us are more than happy to chat to people who aren't like doing too well, especially with lockdown as well. It's important to stay connected with everybody. So reach out. I would encourage everyone to reach out to their friends, their families, because yeah, we're all struggling. We're all in this together, especially those in Auckland.
Oh, bro. Yeah. And I think, you know, after this long, you know, sometimes maybe you don't want to, but maybe just reach out and, you know, make it positive, bro. Don't speak about lockdown if you need to. Say something else. Bring up a memory about a broken ankle or something, you know.
Definitely.
Just even, bro, sometimes you just need to chat a bit of shit, you know. Just think of something
Yeah,
that's funny,
banter.
and then just bring it up, and then just see if you can get things flowing. But yeah, I mean, I'd always be
100%.
happy to talk to anyone. If it helps, it helps. And I'm also a big believer in, you know, if I think something will help you, you know, in terms of a meditation or something like that, I'm always giving suggestions out to people for stuff that I know that works well for me.
Yeah.
If somebody's willing and they want to, I don't know, hit me up and say, look, you know, what's a 2-minute trick, or 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15, I can probably give you something that I've done or tried. So
You're definitely king of that, bro. Like, you've given me so many things before, and sometimes I'm like, what the hell is this? But then also there's a lot of gems in there that I've been like, I love this, bro. This is me.
And you only need, you know, you only need one golden nugget, bro. And you'll be
Hard.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna look up that Charlie winning streak. That looks really interesting.
Oh, bro, me and a good friend, Liam Parkin. Shout out Liam Parkin. We got onto it heavy, bro, and I don't see him that often, but you know, we're gonna meet each other at the top. That's for sure.
Mate.
We're gonna enjoy it along the way. So, yeah, find your people, bro. They'll find you eventually if you keep an eye out. And yeah, just, I don't know. There'll be people to take care of you. You just need to obviously speak out and reach out, as hard as that is sometimes. You know, you don't want to, and you think nobody can relate, but I think almost everyone can. You know, and if they can't, they're just not the right person at the time. So try again.
Pick up those
100%.
kahunas, eh? No.
Kahunas, my bro. A few seconds of courage, they say. That's all it takes.
But yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you, bro. I mean, I got mad love for you. You know that. But yeah, today's been mean, and honestly, you've been so real and just honest, bro. So I'm actually keen to get you on again, because we just talk for ages all the time. But if that ever comes up and you're keen, bro, like, we on.
100%. We could even do a live together, actually. That'd be
hard. But any final thoughts that you want to close up on?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, honestly, bro, healing is not straightforward. It is not easy. It'll surprise you at the best and the worst of times. Just remember that, you know, the sun will shine again. And if you've had that thought once, like, life can't get any worse, I almost want you to remember that sort of stuff. I think, you know, remember the time that you did get through that, because if you can do it once, you can do it a million times. And I think living in a pandemic in this life will almost require it of you. Life isn't easy, you know. We've got to be positive and, you know, be optimistic, but be there for each other when it's not, because that's when it'll really matter. I mean, I'll remember that friend till the day I die, probably, to be honest, turning up to my house, hands down. My best, calling him my best guy friend, let's say, because my partner's obviously number one. No, she is though. My best guy friend was there for me a long time ago, and then we weren't friends for a while, and now I'm very proud to call them great friends. So again, don't be worried if people come in and out of life, you know. Just, if it's all love, it'll come back. So I don't know. Otherwise, anyone can ask me any question at any time. I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, just do your best. Cowboy the rest.
Yeehaw! No.
I'm keen to cop a tea as well when there's teas.
Yowza. Yeah, when we get the graphics out, I think you'll vibe. You'll love them, bro, to be honest.
You know, I'm going to post that on like every account I have. But
Yo, that's the plan, isn't it? No.
Sales, bro.
Yowza. Anything you want to end on, Ethan?
No, just really appreciate your time today, Paul. You're a pretty busy guy, so thank you for making some time for us, and for me anyway, to get to know you a lot better, and just experiencing like, you know, the tough times that you've been through and the different tools and techniques that you've been able to cope. I've definitely written down a few things that I might implement myself, like definitely that chapter a day, which I started at lockdown, but then I fell off. So I'm going to get back into that tomorrow. And then, yeah, definitely look up the winning streak, because that sounds really interesting.
It's cool, bro. It's cool. It's a great way to go from 0 to 100 for sure. And I think as guys, it's quite relatable, though. Get yourself hyped up, bro.
My guy.
Oh, play some good music, bro. You kidding? How did I not say that?
Yeah, hard. That's so you.
Bro, and don't be afraid to smile to songs that you used to cry to, bro.
Oh,
Fact.
that hit me in the feels.
And also got reminded, you know, don't be afraid to smile in places that you've cried at before as well. You know? Don't be afraid to refresh the page and, you know, change your memory, because that's what healing is, you know. But music is energy, so definitely get some good playlists.
Good vibrations.
Good playlists.
Good vibrations.
Good vibrations, bro.
Yeah, brother. But straight up, we can talk for hours. But
I know. Thank you so much.
Wrap it up, boys.
Wrap it up.
Please, all right.
We'll both see you soon, eh?
Yeah.